Good after morning, it is Wednesday, my dudes, and what a Wednesday it is because Uncle EveTech, go back there, because this is what we want to see today. We're going to be going through the checkpoint specials, okay? I'm going to give you my top 10 picks from these. But these are some of the sickest specials I think I've ever seen. But what it is there are monitor specials from Dell, 5 thereof, some of them at noticeably ridiculous prices. I'll tell you about that in a moment. But there are some upgrade kits as well, which are also at pretty ridiculous prices, and some NVMEs. So I picked top 10 out of this list, and without further ado, let's jump straight in. The 10th best deal from the lot has to go to the E2000 2TB NVMe. The price is 4,000 Rand, right? But it's a 2TB and it's got a 5-year warranty. So with a 5-year warranty, that's 800 bucks a year on the quick maths, which means it's like 2-3 Rand a day to have a 2TB NVMe. I do use the 2TB extensively in the test bench. It's pretty much been my bread and butter since I did this review, which is kind of old. You'll notice by the audio and the visual, things have upgraded significantly since then. But the data and everything that I got from it, even after like a year of usage, was basically identical, and it had stuff stored on it and had been used, let's say, aggressively with full reformats and reloads. Every time I do a new system, I reset the operating system or format the drive depending on what I'm doing. So it can take some abuse, and it just carries on ticking. Coming in just ahead of that at number 9 is Clev's Crash C710. This is a really good bang for buck 512 gig NVMe, and it's also got a 5-year warranty on it. 950 bucks, and you get a full 512 gig NVMe. That's like what you pay for a 2.5 inch. And yeah, even though it's a lower end NVMe, it's still like 4 times faster than those 2.5 inches. So you do get something pretty decent over here from old Clev. And honestly, this is pretty much one of the most underrated brands in SA right now. The RAM has been absolutely fantastic. I'm using the Crash XR, the non-RGB one, and it's been working flawlessly with every single system, every single processor, and at a discount, like 30% less than the competitors. So this is just more of the same. Have a look at it. Good warranty. Coming in just ahead of that is a Hikvision 2.5 at 1399. It's kind of disgusting. These things are super reliable as well. I've got like 10 or 15 of them that I've set up with mates and stuff and had them buy off of old Uncle EveTech, and so far none have skipped a beat. So that 5-year warranty is pretty promising. But if you want to go just a little bit faster with Hikvision, you can with this 1TB NVMe for 1,700 Rand. That's 300 bucks more than I paid for my first 120. Hurts my soul. But at 5-year warranty, this is a bit more of a middle of the road, product. It's not like a massively fast NVMe, but if you just want space and size for like games and stuff, this is going to be great, especially with gaming. What you guys need to understand about SSDs and NVMEs in general is when you get to small files, they all kind of have very similar performance. So these read and writes are only going to be applicable for like massive files, which is like not a lot of games, right? A lot of them use a lot of small elements for audio and for the graphics and the visuals and this specific texture for that specific box. You get the idea. That's why something like this with a 5-year warranty, it's going to be a good gaming drive. But for a slightly better OS drive, I would suggest you use one of these. I use this as my one as an editing drive. Actually, I've just got a 256 as my OS, and then I've got the 512 NVMe as like a gaming and editing space. It's 80% editing space because I work with 4K footage, and it's like 125 megabytes per second worth of video. It's kind of crazy. So to handle that, and so that my Premiere doesn't crash all the time, I edit off of the NVMe. And so mine takes like significant abuse. It's 2 years and change now old, and hasn't skipped a beat. It's still basically the same as day one, and these ones come with a little heatsink as well. So if your board doesn't have a heatsink, you can pop that sucker on and it'll actually drop at about 10 degrees, which is pretty impressive. Now that the SSDs are done, we break into the monitors. So on the lower end of the deals is this S2721, which is exactly what I'm using right now. The reason I put this lower down is because the VA pixel response time is a little bit slow. The G-Sync is nice to have, the 144 Hz is really nice to have, and it is proper G-Sync compatible, and the periscope neck and everything at the price is pretty damn good. The only reason it's, like I say, is lower down is because VA is kind of notorious for having a bad pixel response time, and this is no exception. It does have an MPRT mode, which does help to smooth out things, but what that does is it strobes the backlight behind the panel in order to get that refresh rate down to 1 millisecond. So where your frame rate is lower than that strobing effect, it looks really bad. So it's not good for low FPS environments, but for things like CS and that sort of stuff, it works well. And I don't have any problems in CS, I can tell you that much. Your boy's still hitting the shots.
Oh, too long.
I just nitpicky, and I do notice those kinds of things. But where my editing is concerned, it's actually improved my visual quality considerably because of that VA color palette. So I did do a little bit of a trade-off there, but all of that for $4,000 with a 3-year warranty. And Dell has premium panel guarantee on this as well, so they will actually come and swap out your panel if there are any issues with it, which is like kind of sick. Now there is the S2421 one, which is its little brother, and it's honestly quite a lot better. It's got FreeSync Premium in it as well, so not G-Sync, full G-Sync compatibility, although it does work. It's not the same, quite the same as having the G-Sync controller. Same sort of look and feel, quite understated. This is a flat screen instead of it being curved, and the best part about this is it's a TN panel, so you don't get quite the same color reproduction, although you know these newer versions of TN are pretty damn good. What you do get is a proper 1 millisecond gray to gray, so the pixel response time is way better on the TN than it is on the VA, and it's got a 350 nit brightness, which is on the high end, or 350 CDM squared. That's on the high end. Most monitors are only 300, so it's a bit brighter than usual. It's got nice port setup, it's got proper HDMI 1.4, so you can run it through there, DPI 1.2 as well. So it checks all the boxes for me that you would need for like a pretty good gaming experience, especially with that periscope neck. And then the price, it's 3,100 Rand right now. If you've been wanting to get into 144 and you've needed to do so on a budget, this is the best opportunity for that. Going into the top 3, this 25-inch 240Hz from Alienware is disgusting. I used the Verse version of this and it was absolutely amazing. These are VA panels as well. Well, actually this is IPS, which is actually better because of that pixel timing. Once again, it's got 400 nits brightness, so it can probably do, or 400 CDM squared means that it probably can do HDR. It's HDR ready at least. It's got the brightness factor to do that. I'm not sure if it supports it officially or not. Actually, I don't see anything here that says it does, but it's a 240Hz IPS, so you're getting sick color reproduction, some of the best that you can pretty much get on a periscope neck in one of the best looking chassis you've ever seen, with USB pass through and nice little add-ons, you know, the Alienware goodness. Proper display port like 1.4 I think on this, as it would have to be to get to 240Hz at least. But yeah, having used these, they're kind of disgusting, and look at that stamp, this is still pretty. And similarly, the 27 Full HD, it's pretty much the same. I think a lot of people are going to want to have 1440p, maybe on 27. I personally don't have an issue with 1080p on 27. It is a little bit grainy, but having 240 Hz is, it's not underrated, especially with the G-Sync. It's kind of nuts when you play CS at 400 FPS with 240 Hz G-Sync. It's like wiping your eyes with silk. So this is going to be pretty much the same, but you check like that color gamut, you only get 72% from a TN, so in this you get 99% of sRGB. So if you need to use it for design and for gaming, like my use case scenario for instance, this is absolutely perfect. As a result, I'm probably buying one today. But the number one deal for this week has to go to this Intel upgrade kit. The Intel 6-core and 8-core processors right now are like some of the best bang for buck you can get pretty much. The 11600K is a really nice variant there of that you can overclock and have a little bit of fun with. You can do single core and multi-thread and multi-core overclocking now with a new Intel chipset and stuff, so it's kind of nice. And this board is prepared for that. It's a 10+1 power phasing systems. It's got more than enough for the 125 watt chip. You need about 8 to reliably keep clocks on a 125 watt TDP, so this is more and more than enough. And then you get PCI Express 4.0 as well, so that's nice. So you've got all of the latest buses inside of the system, as it were. It comes with good RAM as well, the good old DDR4. You're probably going to get a single 16 gig, so you might want to do that upgrade to the 32, which is going to push your price to about 11k. But the cooler you might think is under spec, but I've actually run a considerable amount of 6 cores underneath that puppy, and like they basically sit in like mid 60s under full render workload, so it works pretty damn well. So for this setup, even at the base price of 9,399 Rand, it's kind of disgusting. But like I say, dual channel is going to be quite a performance bump. You're looking at 10 to 15% across the board, so you might just want to consider getting that extra RAM module. But all of that with a 3-year warranty for 9,400 bucks, it's kind of nuts. You're getting like a top 10 gaming processor with a good board, with RAM, with cooling, like a really nice, well-rounded solution for 9,400 Rand. I like a lot. Anyway, that is all I have for you in this top 10. If you have enjoyed it, please hit us up with a like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the flip side.